So, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. It is the weekend, and we're getting closer and closer toward Christmas, and hopefully with more developments in relation to loopring and GameStop. But that I don't want you to just limit yourself to focus on the events of the current situation this month, because all of these events and technology and protocols that are being rolled out, it's going to be a process through 2022, and that is the biggest focus on this. Don't just focus on the immediate things right now, because all of this is technology and new startups are coming out with new applications. Things are going to be rolled out through 2022. So this is an exciting time, because it's time for you to learn, educate, get updated, and to really gauge your perspective as to how you want to start the year and what kind of technology you want to really invest in. And so let's get on with this. So recently, the ZK Day that happened 2 days ago, Polygon announced their purchase of MIR. All right, now by MIR, there is a really good discussion and also educational background to learn about this, because it's a heavy discussion that was talked about on the ZK Day. But MIR is basically a proof of the development with Ethereum in relation to zero proof knowledge, ZK rollups, ZK proof technology, and how it is basically needed to help keep push with the development with Ethereum. Now, this isn't only limited to Polygon, because there are several other ZK rollup-based Ethereum scaling technologies that are basically live right now. But again, they'll have, not all of them, most have limited functionality. They include Starkware's StarkX, Loopring, we all know about that one. Also Matter Labs. This is another really important one. I'd like to talk about this one, but also keep learning about this too, because there's ZK Sync. They're all starting to begin rollouts for new projects. But I want to get back to MIR, because the developers and founders describe MIR, and they want you to think about MIR as complementary to Bitcoin and Ethereum. Because everything right now is focused on Ethereum, but the only person I've really heard about talking about the application and development with Bitcoin is Jack Dorsey from Twitter. And that's something, because I don't see a lot more development on that, but there may be some things on the back burner. But basically, from their perspective, the founders and developers with MIR, they know and understand that Bitcoin aims to be the digital gold. It's a reserve asset for the internet. While Ethereum, they're describing as a crypto Wall Street, a platform for an alternative financial system. And this is very, very good to hear, because everything that's coming along is just being built. So if you think of Wall Street as just the street, but all along, there's the technology and the building, they're just being established, and it's being built right now. Now, MIR is an Ethereum scaling startup that uses zero knowledge proof, basically ZK proof technology. All right, a zero proof is a cryptographic tool that can be used to create ZK rollups. Very, very simple. Now, ZK rollups enable transaction to be processed, but don't require all transaction data to be posted on Ethereum. Okay, this is important because it helps reduce the block space used on Ethereum, and again, enabling it to scale. And again, the most important thing, enabling and reducing gas fees. Very important, which most of us have learned to understand from what loopring has been doing with layer 2 and a lot of the side chains that are being rolled out through Ethereum. Now, MIR is being rebranded to Polygon Zero. All right, and this project is going to build a ZK rollup based on the ZK proof technology. All right, that's basically what they're doing. Now, I looked into a good description about what is MIR, where do they get their name, if you want to know more about the company. Now, there's a good backstory about this. Now, the founders and developers, when they started this, they liked the idea of the word MIR and where it comes from. Well, in 19th century Russia, political theorists searched for an alternative to serfdom. All right, a system which serfs lacked economic and political power, and their lives basically were dominated by the aristocratic landowners. They founded MIR, a self-governing village where citizens collectively controlled and benefited from their work. All right, so this is pretty interesting theory, and I like the way they're using this and connecting this, because when you think of the modern internet right now, who controls the services we use to communicate, transact, and just build? Not us at all. All right, this internet is basically controlled by, again, these landowners. They operate our payment networks, social networks, and financial services. And what do they get? Rent. All our expenses paid to them. So that's basically what it is and where we are today. Now, again, the modern internet user we're not 19th century serfs, but there's an imbalance of power. That same thing's happening again. And we recognize that. That's why people are pushing for more Ethereum and more decentralized systems, not just on blockchain, but also in the stock market. Financial systems are needed also. And this MIR is basically a platform controlled by the users where anyone can build decentralized services that allow people to communicate, transact, build without rent seekers, gatekeepers, and most importantly, middlemen. That's what you're basically getting away from. That's important. Farther into their website, they're a lot of, it's a really heavy mathematical and programming language. But if you get through it, you can understand most of it, because what they're really pushing for is a case for stateless blockchains. All right, and there's so much use of data on there. They're basically hoping, and that's what everybody's pushing for Ethereum level 2 now, because they need more manageable time, more manageable scaling, because right now Ethereum is very slow at trades per second. And basically we're looking for a new approach to how we can use Ethereum by saving space, but also saving fees. All right. Now in traditional blockchains like Ethereum, we have to validate a transaction. It allows, and it requires accessing the state of each account and basically the transaction with it. And again, to facilitate each of these validations, we have to go to the nodes, and the nodes will store all the state activity accounts, which gets expensive as accounts and grows. And again, they're saying this is a better way. The idea of a stateless blockchain to move data off chain. Now, also, think about this. Social media, for example, is very centralized. And think about if social media was to become more decentralized. And if you understand the idea of a fork, forking social media platform is going to allow users and their identities basically without relying on the platform itself. That's important. I don't want to talk about one specific Facebook, but if you thought about them, for example, or Instagram or anything else, but if you fork a blockchain and its use, basically what's going to happen in any crypto technology platform, not only Bitcoin, you want to change the rules, you have to fork it. That's what they're doing. It's like a fork in the road. All right. You're indicating there's been a change in the diversion to the protocol, change of the rules. The developers can then update the software to reflect the new rules. So that is what people are pushing for, and hopefully that's what's going to happen, because we need a more decentralized social media. But it's an example of using decentralized protocol to disrupt market structures, networks, and to encourage decentralization and basically create more functionality and, of course, bottom line, security. All right? Because basically we need three things. We want to allow users to bring their existing identities with them. It should allow differentiated product experiences. Some users might prefer clients. That minimizes engagement, while others can maximize one. Other want stronger privacy protections, right? And third, users should be able to switch social media providers without friction in blockchains, right? Because we want to provide a mechanism for an exit. If users decide to switch social media providers, we need a simple exit and not make things so difficult and complicated. So MIR, what they're doing, again, it's a good purchase by Polygon, and how they're going to implement to really help build on the Ethereum network is exciting. There's a lot happening, so the more you learn, the more you know. The more you know, the more you learn, and the more you can invest and really expand your knowledge base, because going forward to 2022, it's not just about what's happening right now in December. It's about planning forward for the next several months, for the next year. Because remember, people say you're early in this. Well, early was possibly 2013, 2014. But now is the development stage. Getting the ideas, getting momentum forward, and understanding all of this, it's important, because it's, again, your money, your investments, and how we interact with each other online. So, all of you, have a great weekend. Have a great Saturday. Game on. More videos coming.